Hi guys! Today I'm going to share with you my college journey. In 2019, my nursing school journey started. On January 31st, 2019, I was accepted into Becker College. I chose Becker because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to major in yet, and Becker seemed like they had good support systems for undecided majors. I soon settled into Becker, and I joined the cheer team. The middle picture is also a care package I got from my parents the first week I was living at Becker. I feel like this picture I found in my camera roll explains how I was feeling at the time. Being an undecided major, I was taking elective and prerequisite classes. Becker was an amazing school, but I was realizing that it might not be the place for me, and I was struggling to deal with these emotions and what I should do next. This is a picture of my parents and the first time I drove to visit my boyfriend in college. They are people that really motivated me and believed in me through this confusing time in my life. Although I was always drawn towards nursing, I unfortunately thought that I was not smart enough to actually do it. I remember being on the phone with Brett in my Becker dorm when he told me that college is a time to try things out and find what you like. So if I wanted to do nursing, why not try it? I then called my parents next, who instantly supported my decision. Their belief in me helped me make the decision to declare myself as a nursing major, and since I kept my GPA up during my first semester of college, Becker accepted me into their program. Since my dad works for an airline, he was able to fly standby on any flight, so as a surprise, he took me to London over winter break. Then I went back to school to start my first semester of nursing. This included anatomy, microbiology, medical ethics, and human growth and development. The first time I remember getting really excited about nursing was when I got a complete skeleton for anatomy. I remember being so ecstatic opening the box, and I stayed up all night putting it together. Although unassuming, these are my last memories of being on Becker's campus before COVID. I certainly was so ready to leave and go home on the picture on the right, but little did I know I would never be returning. So, as you could have guessed, COVID hit. My school originally told us to leave for a week, but Becker later notified us that they would be closing for the rest of the semester. The picture on the right is when people were still only suggesting that you wear a mask, and I took this thinking I looked so silly with one on. It's also a painter's mask, which isn't even protective against COVID, and it just makes it more funny. This is when I started to get very familiar with Zoom. I remember really struggling with online learning with the grainy camera and choppy connection. I also just want to relax when I'm home, so it just wasn't the best learning environment for me. But I do make it through the rest of my freshman semester, and I have an amazing summer despite still being in the thick of COVID. Around September of 2020, I became a sophomore at Becker, and I began my first full year of nursing school. My fall semester goes as well as it could over Zoom, and I even make the dean's list. I still have a feeling that Becker isn't the best fit for me, but since transferring to another nursing school is difficult, I planned to commute the spring semester, and I even got a car for it. In March, I find out that Becker is closing for good. I had a lot of mixed emotions when I found out. Hearing that you don't have a college to return to is scary and stressful. On the other hand, I felt like I got a second chance to pick a school that I'd be happy at. I had to choose between Assumption or Worcester State's nursing program, and I obviously ended up picking Worcester State. However, I end up finding out that I have to retake my sophomore year now. I remember bursting into tears after leaving the Zoom meeting because I realized that I would not be graduating with any of my friends, and I would have an additional year of nursing school. So I began preparing for the 2021 fall semester. I remember putting on these scrubs and feeling so official. The picture on the right is literally me in Trippy's dressing room putting the scrubs on for the very first time. At the end of August, I moved into Worcester State. I remember having to move in by groups due to COVID, so I ended up moving all my stuff in 2 weeks before classes started, which was kinda inconvenient to be without the majority of my stuff for that long. These are a bunch of firsts I had during my first week of classes, like my first lab orientation, class, and clinical. In my sophomore year, I felt the full force of nursing school. The pressure from Patho and Pharm was very real, and I quickly realized that I had to put 110% effort into this if I wanted to proceed in nursing. The pressure did get to me at times, but after working my butt off, I ended the semester passing my classes. When I returned to school after winter break, I started to make great friendships in and outside of nursing school. This is when Worcester State really started to feel like home for me. After a semester filled with great memories, study groups, and late-night loft runs, finals came around. Finals week in both of my semesters of sophomore year were super stressful time for me, and I worked extremely hard for all my grades. My boyfriend also broke his leg during the same time, so the level of stress I was experiencing was unmatched. After I passed all my finals, my family surprised me with silly string when I got home to celebrate. With sophomore year officially finished, I was excited to start my summer. After 2 years of being a sophomore, I was finally a junior. My biggest obstacle this year was managing my time with junior year's demanding schedule. To me, this year was studying on my dorm floor, taking notes at my boyfriend's apartment, and making flashcards with my colorful markers. For his senior spring semester, my boyfriend took an internship in Washington, D.C., so I threw him a surprise goodbye party with all of his friends before he left. Although I was incredibly excited for him, this would be the first semester where I wouldn't see him consistently. Since he's one of my biggest supporters, I was selfishly a little nervous to go through the semester where he wasn't a 20-minute drive away. The full swing of junior year started yet again, but after having one semester under my belt, it helped to know what to expect. The semester consisted of clinical, hundreds of flashcards, days of studying, and an obsession with the crown. When spring break came around, I was able to visit my boyfriend in DC. But since nursing school never stops, I couldn't forget to study for the test we had the Monday we got back from break. After one of the most mentally exhausting years of nursing school, I soon wrapped up my junior year and moved out of Wesleyan. My summer consisted of my boyfriend's graduation, the Eras Tour, and starting my job as a PCA. And just like that, senior year approached. This was the start of many lasts for me. From preparing for senior checkoff in the middle of our living room, disaster lab, or celebrating after taking our last ATI of the semester, I really tried to soak up every moment because I knew I didn't have too many left. So now here we are, spring semester of senior year. This semester has been the beginning of coffee shop study dates with Allie and Caitlin, which has been one of my favorite things to do. It has also brought me weekend clinical, which I thought I would hate, but I've grown to love it with all the experience and friends it's given me. The memories I have made this semester are some of my favorites, and I'm so thankful for everyone who's been a part of it. So now I need to give out certain thank yous because I would not have been able to get through nursing school without them. To my comfort meals, Flusher, Dairy Queen, and Domino's, you have given me so much joy and comfort during my mental breakdowns, words can't explain the love you have shown me. To my chapstick, you're in my pocket at clinical, school, and everywhere I go, and I would be lost without moisturized lips. To my Stanley, my child, you are like my chapstick, you go everywhere with me, and we have a bond like no other. And lastly, to Quizlet, if it wasn't for you, I would have not passed nursing school. And I have to give credit where credit's due to my emotional support whiteboard, who has been with me since day one and is also the reason why I'm passing nursing school. Oh, right, I almost forgot. I would have not been able to do this without any of you. Every person in this class has been so kind and always willing to lend a helping hand. I remember in sophomore year when I would ask anyone and everyone what their study methods were, and everyone gave me honest and great advice. I never felt like nursing school was a competition, but a team effort, and I appreciate that. I will miss you all, and I'll be thinking of you always.